Hi, I'm Holly, the Youth Minister at Holy Trinity Claygate, and I have this awesome opportunity to share with you guys a bit of a youth ministry update. I have now began my 4th academic year in this role, and at times recently it has been hard to not consider what God has been building these past 3 years on the strong foundations that came before to be dismantled. An example of this could be that this year we discerned that we were going to focus on our young leaders and really invest in Christian leadership for young people. And we started these young leaders training dinners once a month where young people would be fed and we would talk all about Christian leadership and different aspects of Christian leadership and what it meant to use your gifts to serve God and how each of them was equipped to serve God for the purposes that He had for them. These cannot happen at the moment. That is just one example. But with the idea of holding these training dinners being so far away, it can be easy to feel like the structures that God had helped us build are in ruins. Until I stop and I remember who God is and that He does not build in vain. And so in reflection, if I follow through that example of young leaders stepping up and taking up those leadership and serving roles, I'm wondering how many of their radiant faces you have all seen in the online services that are streamed on Sundays. So many, more than 40 to my count. I think that is incredible and an incredible example of young people in serving and leadership roles. And being part of a church service is just one way in which to serve the Lord with your gifts. At an online conference that I was at back in July with Youthscape, which is an awesome Christian youth work charity, they brought forward this idea that the bricks that we use to do the things that we do have turned to sand. And I can totally relate with that image. And then they went on to say, but what if instead of building with bricks, we began to build sandcastles? This idea that the purpose of building and creating was still very much there, but it just looked a little different. And maybe using sand to build sandcastles meant that we had more freedom and more ability to tailor what we do for the needs of those that we are trying to reach. I've taken that thought and I've ran with it this term, and the youth team have been incredible in joining with me in this. We have as a team been trying to find ways, innovative, fresh, exciting ways to connect with different young people in different ways, because not one size fits all, not everyone is the same. So let me tell you what we've been up to this term so far. PF, our years 7 to 9's discipleship group, have continued to meet on Sunday on Zoom in the evening. They also meet in person once a month on a Thursday, and we try and make these times particularly special. YF, our years 10 to 13 discipleship group, have been meeting every Sunday in person outside in their small group bubbles. I think they've really valued this, as Zoom was difficult for our older ones as time went on. We now also have fire pits when we meet outside, which is really fun to gather around and definitely helps with the cold. In both groups, we've just finished a series called Squad Up in Ephesians, where we look at how Paul is teaching the early church how to live as a community that loves God and loves each other. And now we are doing practical activities in our groups all around the spiritual habit of spending time with God, just like our church value connecting with God. We've done all different things, from listening to worship music together to Lectio Divina activities to a good old Bible study, and there's more to come. We've had a great time, and it's been really interesting to see how the young people have been connecting with God in their own ways and in different ways and in new ways for them as well. We've been culminating all of these different activities with a prayer wall, and I'll show you a clip of that now. It's been wonderful to encourage the groups in how they can personally connect with God. And that prayer wall example is just a snippet of what we've been up to. Not all the prayers are even up there yet. That wall is our collective voice and ear to God. There has been loads going on with the outreach arm of what we do as well. The Well, our youth drop-in, has continued to gather young people online with quizzes, challenge videos, mental health matters, academic support, Tuesday night lives and online gaming. But particularly excitingly, we've begun to safely open our doors for our in-person drop-in. I can't tell you how amazing it is to see young people back in the building, even if we are all wearing masks. I'd love to end with some prayer requests. Right now, our young people seem to be collectively struggling with academic pressure. There is anxiety, there is worry. Some are really quite panicked about the future and how they will cope within this situation. Please lift them up to the Lord as often as you remember. They need their church family rallying around them more than ever right now. And if you see them around, encourage them. Ask them how things are going. Connect with them. Please also pray that they will find their identity in Jesus and strength in Him at this time. Please also pray for the youth team and the Well team. They give of themselves, their time, their energy, their love, their care, week on week. Please ask God to strengthen and uphold them, to give them His wisdom and to pour in His love so that they may pour out. I think that's a prayer for all of us, that we would continue to build with what we've been given, even if their sandcastles are not the bricks that we're used to, and that we would continue to pour out ourselves as living sacrifices, His vessels. Amen.